Okay, hold on just a second. I'm live. Okay, there we are. Let me bring my board back in here because I had this all set, ready to go. And it took me clear back to where it made me put in all the stuff again. Don't ask me why, because it loves me so much. I'm sure that's why it is. I'm sure that's what it is. You know, all the stuff that it just loves you. You know, you got to do what you got to do. Okay. All right, you guys, I'm going to tell you. I'm barely here. I'm just going to mention that right now. Have you ever had a day that absolutely nothing in the day worked the way you wanted it to, thought it would, or should go? That was today. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. And I'm not complaining about it. I'm just saying that was today. And while I'm usually a person that likes to be ready for whatever it is I'm going to do. I have never been more unready for something in my whole life. But I have never been in a situation where I really needed it more than I did right now either. So I need today. I need this session. And if it goes well, it goes well. And if it doesn't, well, oh well. Does it really matter? It's a birdhouse picture. I mean, do we really care? I don't think so. Okay, so all right, I don't even have any water in there. How am I supposed to wash a paintbrush? You cannot watercolor without water. I'm just going to tell you that up front, folks. And now we're going to throw things because you know that's what we do when we're frustrated. We throw things. No, we don't. We don't. We act like the adults that we are. Okay. All right. There's that. I have water. That goes in the trash. And all right, where we left off last time was we had done the background. I've got brown on mine somewhere. It showed up right there. Don't ask me. I don't know. I really don't care. And I'm going to go back in here real quick with my burnt umber. I don't want the birdhouse mix or the dark mix. I just want burnt umber. And I want to kind of do a little something with this stick right here. I want to just make it not so flat. I'm just going to add some darkness here, a little bit here. But I don't want it to be, go from whatever the original color was to painted brown. I want it to be darker on the outside of this then. And sticks can be modeled. They don't have to be smooth. Sometimes they're smooth, but they're not always smooth. They don't have to be. So I'm just going to put that in there. That's what I'm going to say. That's what we're going to do right there. That's what I want. Going to put it in right here. Okay. And bring that. I don't want this white up at the top. That's definitely, I don't want that right there. I'm going to come behind that just a little bit now that this is dry with a little bit of darkness here, 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 and here. And with a damp brush, I'm just going to blend that out just a little bit. Splotchy. I don't want it to be like total coverage or anything like that. Just splotchy right there. I want to take my dark mix and I want to come up under these eaves where the stick sits and then bring it down a little bit more here, like it's got a shadow right there. and a little bit on this other side. This is the light side of the birdhouse, so you don't want to get the whole thing too dark, but it needs some shadow underneath the eaves right there. Just like that. Okay, and let's see, what else do I want? On the platform of the birdhouse, I want to put a little bit of darkness on this side, just a little bit, I don't want it to be the darkest thing on the planet right here, and a little bit down here. Just blend that up with a damp brush right there, like that. Underneath that, I'm going to be using my dark birdhouse mix, and I'm going to come down here. If you want this post to be wood, you've got to put wood markings in it. Like, usually we're not using the brightest and best for a post for the birdhouse. We're going to use something that we have. It's going to weather as it's out in the elements. And we don't want to cover it all. You don't want to just paint everything dark. You want some of that that's already there to show up, but you're just reinforcing these lines of the grain of the wood. It's a post is what it is. It's not going to have like board markings like this does up here, because it's not put together in the same way. It's a one piece board, wood, chunk, post thing. Never mind. Okay, so coming in here, down here, and right here, we want this to be strong dark right there. And you want it to be strong dark because you're going to be putting a woody vine right here that has leaves attached to it. And you want to be able to know that there's a difference between the two things you're doing. So it's shadowed because it's on the shadow side, but also because it's on the underneath that branch. We're going to put a little bit over the top, but it's not going to get to be as much as what's on the bottom. Right there. And coming up here. Now, you guys, I'm going to tell you, the reason I start down here and deposit some of that really dark is because I know that's going to be underneath the mat. So if that mix is not what I want it to be, I have a chance to offload some of that color before I put it where I don't want it to be seen. Okay, there. Just bringing that in here. Just streaky, streaky, streak, 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 like that. Okay, and I want to pick up burnt umber. I want to just kind of touch this and there, right there, like that. Okay, there's that side. I like this side, the darkness that it is, but I need some wood look to it. So I'm going to pick up some of my burnt umber. And once again, underneath here, it's going to be shadowed. Picking up just a little water to make this move better. Just like that. I don't want these lines to be even going across, even though it is a shadow, because it's falling into the grain of the wood post. I don't want it too dark either. Okay, and I'm going to bring some of this down, just like that. At the area of this kind of like a hole in the post we've got, we want to kind of follow that. Like that. Letting it do its thing there. Kind of coming back in here. And where I've got these really super light places is where I really wanted leaves to go. So I don't want to cover all that up. So I'll just pretend they're sort of not there, but keep in mind, don't totally lose the area. Now, if you've already lost the area, can we get it back? Yes, we can. And we can put those leaves in. It'll be fine. Okay, there. I like that. All right. Might want to stroke this down here just a little bit, or maybe not. Maybe it wants to be where it is. I don't know. It seems to want to be there. Okay, fine. We won't. It wants to be there, so we're going to let it be there. All right, so we've got the birdhouse. Did I do those back sticks at all? They look kind of flat to me. That looks better. Okay, now you guys, these this crisscross up here is tied together with something, but most of you may not really have what we actually would normally use. So let's just make some of our dark mix here work. Just like that. And they're tied together right here. Like so. Don't get all fussy with it, just stick it in there. Up at the top, it just is like a crescent that goes around those, holding them together. All right, now, do you have on your palettes a lighter brown color, like something light? I'm going to look at my mixes and see what I want. Maybe, I don't know, I'm not really seeing anything I'm really in love with right there. Let's water. Okay, let's put some of our burnt umber out again. But we want a really light wash. So you're going to put a lot of water in it. Okay. A lot of water. And you're going to just come in on your dark side first so that we can know that what we're doing is actually going to show up right here. And it does. It works. Just right there. It's sort of a branch over on this side. You're going to start with it being the light wash of burnt umber on each one of these. And it stops right there for a leaf to go in front. And I'm going to pick up some of the dark right here because it's got to come in front of this right here a little bit, and it's not going to want to. We're going to make it, but it doesn't really matter because that place is under, it's going to be under the mat anyway. But just in case your picture framer decides to go lower than you thought, there's still something there painted down there. Okay. There is also a vine, and I'm going to use the dark mix for this because I want it to be different than what we've done here. There is a vine that goes around here. Comes right through there. And we're going to bring it on top of here. But it's going to disappear here and come under right there. Right there. It goes back behind and it comes up on this side, although there's a leaf there, so you don't really see it, but it comes right up here and up here. And this is what comes in up to this leaf right here. Okay, so you want to make sure all that's in there. There's also a little twig kind of deal that comes off here, kind of bends back around there. Let's bring this one here, and let's bring this one right there. Okay, there. This leaf comes in from somewhere. We're not even really sure where. We're going to say that it comes in right up here. It's going to bend right down there. Now, probably when I drew this originally, I had a thought as to where that came from, but I have long since forgotten what that was. Okay, now don't worry about that being brown and your leaf being green, because by the time we're done with it, it won't matter. Okay, so let's bring this is somewhere back in behind this post. This kind of goes off and does something different because it's going to come up here and here, all the way up here. Now, on mine, I cannot tell you what yours is going to do, but on mine, this piece right here has a leaf that comes up here, and maybe you're going to see that leaf and maybe you're not, because most of what's over here, let me show you. Most of it's going to get chopped off by the mat. Just telling you the truth. Boy, online, this mat looks tan. It is not. It is the ugliest shade of green you ever saw in your life. I don't know. That is bizarre. There's a lot of difference right there. So I don't know what resolution or what kind of screen that you may have or what colors you may see, but boy, the colors on this may be really, really off. Just saying. All right. When you paint leaves, not leaves, leaves, more than one leaf. We've got two different kinds of plants going here. And we don't, while they all may look similarly shaped, we don't want them to all to be the same color. So you're going to start off with a very yellow green. Now, if you have sap green, that's what I'm going to use to begin with. Now, I will likely alter this for most of the leaves, but it's going to be these in here. And I know you're saying, Marilyn, there is no way that that is going to cover up that brown that's under there. And you're right, it's not. But you know what? We're not going to ask it to. We're just going to put that there as our light that we're bringing in here right now. Right there like that. Now, I did not put water on these first because they are not the most significant. I just don't care. You know, it's like I'm not going to put that much time into them. They're incidental to the support and well-being of my life. I don't care. All right, so now right there you can see that brown vein in there, and you think, Marilyn, that is ugly, but that's okay. But we're not judging it yet, are we? No, we are not. This one up here is this green. This one would matter more than any of the ones that you've got anywhere else. This one's going to matter, so do a good job right there. you're going to paint this one. Is also going to be attached to this plant. And there's a piece of a leaf right here, and you want it to go behind. Now, it's not going to go behind real well with all this yellow green on here, but we're going to alter it, so don't get alarmed here. It's not the last thing we do by a long shot. We're going to put our color in here, knowing that most of this isn't going to show up, but we don't care. We want to do it. It's good practice anyway. So we're going to put color here and here. Not these, and the one up here. This one will likely be seen. Right there and right there. Okay? So, how do we alter them to where we know that they're going to be okay, they're going to blend, they're going to look good, they're going to be nice, but yet we don't want them to like take over the world, stand out, because if a vine like this, it's not going to, you don't want it to steal the show. We're going to take a little bit of burnt umber and add into that green, that sap green, and it's going to make I'm going to say it's not a beautiful green, but it's going to work and do a job that we want done. It goes right in here. Okay, now if you were going to look at these leaves, there's one side to where it kind of bows, makes a frown right there. It goes on the frowning side. Right here, it's on the frowning side. Like right there. This part where it kind of humps up, that's going to be our light side. This one's going to be our dark, even though they're both technically on the light side, but one side's going to be a bit darker than the other. This one right back in here, but we know that we're going to have to alter this one again because it's still too yellow. But we don't care. We're going to let it be where it is. There. We're going to bring this one. Remember I told you this one is the important one. This leaf is a valuable leaf. We're going to put a little bit of our uglier, darker color right here. And we don't want to carry any more paint in it. We just want to move around what's there. We want to put it right there, and we want it to stay there. And it's not staying there, but we're going to give it a bit. We'll make it. It will. There, it's going to stay. I want a little bit of sap green. And I want to put the sap green here and bring it out into this area right there. Right there. I want this one to be a little bit darker. I'm going to pick up a little bit more of the burnt umber, mix it into my sap green. And I want to put it right in that vein area. Just not, it doesn't go all the way up. I didn't go clear out to the tip with it. Right there. Right there. Take that out of my brush. I've got just a damp brush here. And I'm going to just blend right there. Okay, let that sit. I've got to get some more sap green. Hold on a second. Don,
Yeah.
we need the air conditioner or I'm going to pass out.
We need empty what?
No, we don't need to empty anything. We need the air conditioner.
Air conditioning, okay. I thought it was going to kind of hot myself.
Yeah, well, I mean, when I'm hot, you know it's hot.
It's showing 85 in here.
Yeah, 85 is significant. I think it's good enough. We can. Okay, one more time right here at that. Oh, right there. That's it. See it right there? This one right here, we want a little bit right there too. Right there. There you go. Right there. We want to bring a little bit to this side. Never as much as what's on the other side. See there? This side a little bit right here. A little bit right here. I had to convince that sap green that it wanted to mix. It didn't really want to. There we go. I'm going to get right in here. Come around here a little bit. And then I want to come back with just a damp brush right there. Just right there. I want more burnt umber in this one, like a lot more burnt umber, because I want this to tuck back behind this post right there. Right there. Pick up more of the green for this other side. I don't want it to be just burnt umber there. Then I'm going to have just water in my brush. And right here next to that, I want to just come back right here on the post. And I have a napkin right here that I'm going to just press right there and see if I can get any of that to come up. Will it? Maybe not. It may not. Yeah, it did a little bit. There we go. That works for me. I think it'll work. All right. And then we've got to finish up these others. Come on, sap green, do your job. I'm going to bring the twig here. Right there is the leaf. Water right here, just to stroke that out just a little bit. You don't want to cause a stroke, you want to create a stroke right there. Totally different thing. Right down here. around here. If you've got too much of the darker green in there, you need to take some of that out and just blend up into there, but you don't want to ever take out that light. Going to put that vein back in right here. There we go. Let's put the vein there. I'm going to put the vein here. Don't get too fussy with this one because I don't think most of this one's even going to show. But you want to do your best, do a good job. And then, well, get my vein mix here again. It'll be right there. Right there, like that. Some of my burnt umber and sap green mix, not right there, right there, coming down here, coming down there, washing out the brush, and just with a damp brush, just follow that vein line right there, and then come back and get some of your mix again. Right there, just like that. Just like that. All right. Now, all the vines leaves have been done. We want to do these little branches leaves, and we're wanting a different green for this. And if you have Hooker's Green Light on your palette, that's the one you're going to want to use for this. If you did not have sap green before, but you used Hooker's Green Light, if you haven't already done it, I would encourage you to add yellow to that because you need a yellow or green for that. But on this one, Hooker's Green Light is a very blue green by nature. It just is. Straight off the bat, it is a very blue green. And we want to carry water in our brush because we're wanting washes to begin with. I'm going to start on this side because this is the side none of this would likely even show. So it's a great place to practice. But you're going to come up here and over here, giving a light wash to the whole thing. When you pick up your brush, you deposit a little bit more color than you might want there. You don't want it puddled, but it by nature will put just a little bit of darkness down there. That's okay. Let it be down there. You don't want it at the tip, but it can be at the base. There. Then stroke this onto the branch just a little bit. Now, don't be alarmed at this green. It is not what you're going to end up with because, you know, we do alter things as we go along. But we want to start off with something that is much different green than what we used in the other plant. Because while both of these have leaves, they can't all be the same color. They wouldn't be in nature, so don't make them be here. Right there, right there. Just like so. Just like that. Just right there. Somehow I've got a pencil line right there. I'm going to just wait till this all dries, and I'm going to erase that pencil line because I don't really think it should be there. I don't know why it's there. I don't know what it was supposed to be connected to or anything. So we'll just let it go. All right, now I'm going to move a dry paper towel up here and put my hand on it. And I'm going to paint these out here first. See that extra color right there? I don't want quite that much, but I'm going to come back here and get it in a minute. Right there, like that. This comes behind here because actually the stick does come in front of it. If you can pull that off. Now, we might not, but you know, whatever, we don't care. But this little blob right here has a tip to it. There is another leaf that sits right next to this, and I'm going to mix a little bit of my sap green into this. I don't want it to be too much. I don't want it to be sap green, but I don't want the two greens to mix together or look like they belong to the same thing. I'm going to come in here like so. Just let it go there. And this comes on down here like that. And it joins on the right under there like that. It does. I'm going to make this one just because I've still got color and it'll look more like it belongs that way. I'm going to make this one down here, this too. I don't want just one cluster of leaves to look like that. I want them all to be just like that, to where it carries on down in. Just in case it might not show, I'm going to pick up some and put it over here as well. Okay, back to my original color right here, there, down there. Just a light wash of color. Are any of you painting along, or do you paint after? Is anybody painting with me? Not putting you on the spot or anything, just wondering. You don't have to. Also, if you ever have trouble with your round brush flattening out on you, you turn it as you're putting your paint. When you're putting your paint in, you lift it up. Let me show you, because that's going to make no sense. When you're putting it in your wet paint here, if you twist it as you're pulling it up, it'll come back into a point. There are times when you want it to be flattened out and times when you don't. And you'll know when you want it to be a small line and when you want it to be a big one. And that just did something weird. That color is getting super dark. I wonder why. Now it's not. And right here. There. Some of these you're going to want to leave this color. Some of them may. Okay. Why all of a sudden is my speaker talking to me? We don't know. I don't really think it has anything pertinent to say. Sorry. I'm just hearing random voices in my room. That's just terrifying all by itself. Okay, we're going to come over here. I probably shouldn't tell the world that I'm hearing voices here, should I? That probably wouldn't be a really good thing. Just saying. Probably not. Yeah, you know me, though. You know I'm nuts. It's all right. It's all right. There's nuts, and then there's, oh my goodness, what in the world are you doing? I'm just the mild form of crazy. That's all. Of course, that's what they all say. Don't know. I don't know. As long as these voices are telling me, you know, maybe they have some painting experience and they could tell me good things, or they could tell me that my battery's low and it needs to be recharged. That's okay. It's not telling me good, you know, it's only telling me good things. It's not telling me anything to do anything weird or bad. That's good. That's a good thing. I'm glad you're painting along because, you know, that's an awesome thing. Sometimes I feel like I'm talking to myself, which I really don't want to do. But because if I'm hearing voices and talking to myself, somebody might come and take me away. I'm just telling you what I think might happen. Okay. All right. Now, you guys, on your pattern, this was not here, but I think it should be here. I think there needs to be a leaf right here because it looks kind of vacant right there. Let's put one right there. Right there. Just because it needs to. I don't know. It just does. Maybe there's something behind there or something. I don't know. There. That's not so vacant right there. I don't know. Anyway, all right. So, what do you do with a color that is a blue-green that you want a darker for? I don't want it to be like this color. I don't want it to be like that. I just want it to be darker than what's already there. I do have Hooker's Green Dark or Deep But I'm going to tell you, I know up front I won't like it. I know I won't like it. This color barely gets used on my palette because it's a dumb color. Okay, here it is. See? Well, how is that a whole lot different than what I already used? I think it's not. Oh, goodness. Okay. Anyway, so we could add some more blue to it, but do we want these really that blue? Do we add, you don't want to add black. That'll just make a muddy looking leaf. Who wants that? That's boring. What if we tried a little bit of either indigo or Payne's Gray? Payne's Gray is, believe it or not, it is a gray, but it has sort of a, generally I make my own. That's what I generally do. But it's a purple gray. I don't know if you're going to even be able to see it here. It doesn't look very purple there. But the way that you make alizarin crimson is that you take Prussian blue. Okay, I'm going to put this out on my palette over here. Prussian blue. And I don't need tons of this, so I don't want to make, like 40 million gallons of it or anything. And then I'm going to add a little bit of alizarin crimson. Do you see why it's a purple gray? Okay, now if you just left it right there, it would be purple. But you don't want purple. You want gray. You want a purple gray. That's what you're wanting. So you're going to wash your brush out and pick up a little bit of yellow ochre. And when I say a little bit, I mean a touch. And it will sort of kind of neutralize some of that. And then you just play around until you get a color that you would call gray. I'm going to pick up a little bit more alizarin. I don't mean that. Prussian blue. Yeah, there. That's what I want right there. And I'm going to mix a little bit of this into my green. And it's going to make a darker version of green that is still a nice, vibrant green color without deadening everything. Okay, and just to show you, I'm going to start on this other side where it'll be safely tucked away if I don't like the color, although I already know I do because I've used this a million times. And I'm going to bring this around here and there. Going to bring a damp brush right here so that it kind of lightens up right there. Let's darken this just a little bit right there and go to the next one right here, right there, right there. Blend that. Don't lose your light. Want a little bit more oomph to it right here. There. Right there. There. Right here. Right there. Picking up a little bit more color, and I'm going to come over here. This one seems to want to turn this way, so I'm going to let it. I'm not going to fight it. I'm just going to go with what's there. Right there. This one comes up and goes this way. Right here. This dark is on this side. And each leaf may turn a little bit different, so it may need to be treated a little bit different. Just right there. Comes around there. Just like that. I like it, so I'm going to make up some more of this color. Make sure I've got some to pull from right here. I'm going to come up here, right there, pull down in here. There. This one, this leaf tucks right there. It starts there and it comes up here. That part's dark. This part's dark. Comes up here, like so. And then the rest of it is underneath this one. And because it's underneath, we need to pay attention to making sure that gets shadowed. I'm going to wipe out color and just come in with a damp brush right here. And I lost the light. It doesn't get much anyway. Because of where it is, it doesn't get much light, but it needs some. Can we do it? Nope. So I'm going to pick up some of that Payne's Gray Green again. Come back in here and darken here. Just darken along that vein line. I'm going to put water right there. Water. There we go. Water. Right there. Right there. Then I'll come back with the dark green and come underneath the leaf. Just right there. And I want just a little bit of that original green that we used on these. Not too much. Didn't you just hear me say not too much? Right there. Just like that. Okay. Getting this one right here. Hey, you can't see what I was mixing? Okay, I mixed a Payne's Gray. I used Prussian Blue. Let me mix it again. Prussian Blue. And Prussian Blue is a very strong blue, so you don't need bunches of it. But then you're putting quite a bit of water into it too. So let's just mix up some because it's going to make Payne's Gray. And even if you have Payne's Gray, this one looks nicer, in my personal opinion. It may not be your opinion. You can pick what you want to do. Okay, then I'm going to pick up alizarin crimson. And most of it over there, and I'm going to mix what's just in my brush right here. I can come over and get some more if I want it, because I'm after a very dark purpley, yeah, right there, a purpley kind of blue. All right, but we don't, and actually that is a really good color. I like it a lot, but we need to kind of deal with how purple it is. If you decide to give her a paintbrush, Rose, I want to see the painting and before you sell it for $3,000, because I'm just saying people charge for weird things like that. And you're going to pick up a little bit of yellow ochre, and it's going to go right in there. I think that's enough right there. I think you should. Just let me know. And then she can advertise that she learned to paint with Marilyn Brown, Paintbrush Brown, on YouTube. There you go. That works for me. I think that'll be fun. I'm just telling you. I think that would be fun. Okay, so what you should have, Sharon, is this color right here. Then you're going to take some of this color right here and put it into your green over here. And it will darken that green without killing the green, because yes, it does have alizarin in it, but it's purple. It's controlled. It's Payne's gray. It turns into a different color. It just does work. It works. So Prussian blue plus alizarin crimson plus a touch of yellow ochre, that's Payne's gray. And honestly, it will work better and look more natural than the ready-made Payne's gray. Now, you can use the Payne's gray that you've already got. I did for a long time before I learned how to make my own, and before I saw what a difference it made in my painting. So you do what you want. Do you. Okay, and I'm going to bring this one right here. Just right there, like that. Bring it down here a little bit. Wipe out my brush, and just using a damp brush, just blend, blend, blend right there. Don't want to lose your light. This one bends way over there. Comes right there. Just like that. And I'm just tickling this color right here, just a little bit right there. Just enough to blend it a little bit. Right here. And I might as well not even put that on there. I was cleaning my desk the other day, and I found several places where I hit my desk when I was mixing my paint, and I had streaks of like 5 different colors on my desk. I thought, wow, that's really something, Marilyn. Coordinated me, I guess. Okay, I've got a damp brush, and I'm going to bring some of that damp color right there. But I really do want this lighter side to be a bit lighter right there. Just like that. Just like that. I think I left this one only half done up here. Or maybe it wasn't done at all. I don't know. Maybe I didn't do it. And And you notice I left this one be. I'm not even sure what that is attached to. I don't know why that one's even there. Unless when I drew it on here, I meant to erase something and then didn't. I don't know. It's got to attach to something. It's just random. It's probably poison ivy. Something growing where it should not grow. I'm just saying. I don't know. I can only speculate. Okay, I'm going to come down here. This one really needs some. Wow, that took over the world. That was not even right. How about we try that? How about we try that again? Can we do that? Okay, sorry. Gotta do this again. All right. I think this other side is just too much. I think that's what it is. I just don't care for this one. But you know, we can lighten that. Ha! There we go. It's like we didn't do it in the first place. So we'll bring this color on this side like that. And because this one's in front, I'm going to pick up a little bit of the Hooker's green plus a little bit of sap green and come back in here like so with that to kind of do a little something different, because I think because it's on top of everything, it needs to be treated special. Okay, right there. Uh-huh. And there we go, right there. Wow, that's dark. But, you know, that's all right. Now it's not quite so much. Right there. And you just keep repeating this same process over and over. And you say, Marilyn, why in the world did you put so many leaves in this? Well, think about why I might have put so many leaves in this. How many plants have leaves? Most of them. Most of them. Almost all of them. Not all, because there are some weirdos that don't. But when we get to where we're painting flowers, I don't want to have to go back and tell you every single time, okay, this is how we're going to paint the leaves. You're going to know. You're just going to know because you learned. Now, will I tell you again? Of course, I'll tell you again, just in case you forgot, or just in case somebody is seeing the class for the first time. But boy, I would hope not, because they will have missed out on a whale of a lot of information. And I would say you need to go back and pick that up, because you will learn so much because you learn by doing it. I could talk to you for 1,000 hours about how to do this, but until you actually pick up the brush and do it, you're not going to learn. You've got to do it. It's a doing it kind of thing. There. And some of them you'll like and some of them you won't. But you know what? In nature, some of them we like and some of them we don't. They're not all alike. They don't all have the same features, characteristics, and personalities. They just don't. Unless you think a leaf doesn't have a personality, you just watch autumn and see if it doesn't. It'll show you 100 times over who it is. And if it's had a hard winter, it's going to tell you. Okay, and you guys, just so you know, don't have something sitting on your desk that you were monkeying around with, because you will paint it again. I'm just telling you, it's done for. That's the way it is. Okay, there and there. Okay, now you guys, there are lots of watercolor teachers on YouTube, loads and loads of them, and some of them are fabulous. But they're teaching you from where they want to teach you, okay? Which isn't a bad thing. It's just I never really felt comfortable about starting out there. It's like it assumes facts not present. And I don't want to assume facts not present. I want to know, how did you do that? And, that's who I am. So I want to teach you from the idea that not everything that you're going to paint is going to be a masterpiece. I'm sorry, I would love to tell you that everything I paint is a masterpiece, but it's not. Matter of fact, I told some students today, I've got a piece right over here that I was painting, and it's likely going to end up in the garbage. And my granddaughter said, "Oh, Mama, don't put it in the garbage because I'll take it." And I said, "No, it'll make you sad." And she said, "Why?" I said, "Because I was sad when I painted it." And your frame of mind is going to come out in your painting. If you're really nervous and uptight, your painting is going to show nervous and uptight. It will. And you want to be careful about that. Let me show you, because I have it right here. I was trying to redo tulips, okay, and I had painted this one, and it just looked incredibly, incredibly sad. The colors were sad. Everything about it was sad. I put an orange one with it, thinking maybe it would perk up. And then I thought, well, go back and put some red into it. Red, it's hard to be red and sad together. It's just hard to do that. And I don't know, it improved it, but I don't know that it improved it that much. It made me sad. I'm just telling you straight up. And I thought, yeah, we may end up pitching that one in the trash yet, because, it is what it is. Okay, this one, just want to add a little bit of something right there, not too much, because the piece underneath it is dark. This one is just dark. There's no way around it. It's dark. Now, I can make this a little splotchy right there and get by with doing, less than I maybe should, but it's just dark. This one, here, like so. I don't have very much paint on my brush at all, because I'm picking up the last of the color that I had mixed, and I'm trying to get it to do what I want without mixing up more, but I don't know. I may be able to get away with that, and I may not. I may just have to make more. Okay, you guys, I gotta make more. I don't have enough. It's not a big deal. It's all right here. It's not that hard. And you guys, it doesn't all have to match. It's just you want as much continuity as you possibly can get. That doesn't mean everything has to be the same. It just needs to all work well together. And I think this does pretty well work well together. Let's bring that down there. This is one of those ones we added, or I added. Here's another one we added. We don't have to do too much to it. It's almost not even there. There. I want to make sure that the post is on top, not the leaf. Right there. Okay, so let's see what happens when okay, I need to do this one. Whoa, I've got my phone over here and I picked that mat up and all of a sudden my dad was looking at me. A picture of my dad. I thought that was startling. Oh, gracious. Okay, I'm going to pick up the, let me get my colors straight here. Sap green and the Hooker's Green Light mix. And I want to come right here with it, right there at that edge. And right here on the light side, right there. Now, that really isn't all that light, so I want to come back at this vein and lighten it right there, gradually, right there. Then I want to pick up some of the Hooker's Green and Payne's Gray mix. It's Hooker's Green Light and Payne's Gray mix, just like that. But it's also sitting on top of a leaf. So let's lighten this up just a little. Not that much really, but a little. Going to pick up some of that dark mix again. Stick close to the vein right there, right there, right there. That's what I want. I'm going to bring it on down here. It comes up here. Don't ask me why it does. I don't know why it does. Should it? Probably not, but it is. It can't just hang out there connected to nothing. They don't do that. Leaves don't float. They can fall, but gravity's operating there. So, all right, I'm going to say that part is done. I want to come back up here to the opening in the birdhouse. This little crescent right here, while it needs to be darker than some of it, it doesn't get to be as dark as what's behind it there. And I'm going to pick up some black because that's what we used before. I don't remember which black we used before, so I'm going to pretend that I know, and I'm just going to jump in and do it. It may be wrong. I want to come right in here and mix it into all the rest of this color right here and round that out right there. And there's a place in there that's not wanting to cover. There, it does now. Okay, so I've got a nice round hole there. And I think that looks good. The only thing that I could add to that to make it more likable to me is a bird, and we're not going to do that tonight. We're not going to add a bird to this. We will be painting a bird soon. Probably next week we will paint a bird. The bird will be a hummingbird. It will be with a hibiscus. I don't have one painted to show you yet, but somewhere here I do have a drawing. Somewhere. Can you see that? I haven't gotten the line drawing inked yet, but it will, and it will be beautiful, and you guys will paint a hummingbird next time, and that's what we will work on. So, and then the one after that, we will paint the lighthouse. So hang in there. We will do the hibiscus and hummingbird, and then we will do the lighthouse. So if I were you, I would plan the hibiscus and hummingbird to be a 5x7, and the lighthouse, I seriously would make that an 8x10. 8x10s are matted to an 11x14, but it will be easier for you to paint it at a bigger size. Also, I want to give you a heads up. Is that what she's waiting for, the bird? Sorry, Luna. Fooled you. No birds. Next week. Oh, the cat was waiting for the bird. Oh, well, there we are. I do want to tell you one of the things that I would like for you to have on hand, and I realize not everybody likes it, and I can't say that I'm particularly in love with it either. However, it does a job that is a good job, and it is masking fluid. And there are two, well, there's more than two, but there are several kinds. There's PBO, and they call it drawing gum. And there's Winsor Newton art masking fluid. They're the same thing, just different brands. It's just when I paint an ocean, okay, and here's something I want you to think about. When I'm painting an ocean, I don't want my masking fluid to be blue. It messes with what I see when I'm painting the water. I don't want it to be blue. I want it to be some other color. But if you've already got a blue one, for no more than we're going to be doing with it, don't go out and buy new. Just we'll make it all work. Okay? So if you already have a masking fluid that's blue, keep it. But if you don't, buy one that's not blue, so that when you paint the ocean waves, you can actually see where you're going and not everything's blue. Just a thought. Okay? So you will need some masking fluid, or if you don't want to buy masking fluid, then you are going to need to be highly structured. So just plan on that. Either you need masking fluid or you need to be highly structured. And you guys, I'm not kidding you. Highly structured won't work. You need masking fluid. You do need masking fluid for the lighthouse picture. And I don't have it done yet. I think I started it and I showed it. I don't even know what in the world I did with it. Yes, I do. It's right here. So I thought, how could I have put it that far away when I was just working on it? But mine's just a little one. But I don't necessarily want great big pictures if they're not going to come out looking good. Okay, so when you do all this in here, you need to mask it. Because when we put these rocks in here, these rocks can get weird. Now, maybe that's not a bad thing, and I don't think it is a bad thing, but we do want some splashes on these rocks because this wind comes up here. The wind, I don't mean the wind. That's not what I'm wanting to say. The wave. The wave comes up here and it hits this and it goes crash and it goes like that. And you're going to need some splashes of water coming up in here. And you're not going to be able to paint around them. Now, you might be able to manage painting around this, but on an 8x10, probably not. You're not going to want to do that either. I mean, this is just a little bitty thing. This is like a card front because, see, this is for a 5x7 and that doesn't fit in there. So this is, I don't know, it's, well, let me tell you. I can tell you. 4.5 by 6. 4.5 by 6. That's what this one is. And that's because I wanted to try the colors and see if I could do what I wanted to show you. I don't want to tell you I can show you something and then not be able to show you. These rocks I didn't do yet because I've been studying rocks. I know that seems stupid, but wet rocks don't look the same as dry rocks. So I want to make sure that I'm getting a good look here for you. I want you to be successful with this. So there we are. So we will do this one after we do the hibiscus and the hummingbird. Now the hibiscus and hummingbird will likely be also a 2-week class. And the reason I say that is because I want due appreciation given to the hummingbird itself and to the flower that feeds it. I want them to each get their share of attention. Okay? So it will be a 2-week class. Plus, before you can paint that bird's beak, you have got to let that flower dry, or it will be way too big because it'll bleed out all into the flower, and you just don't want that. You don't want it. Matter of fact, it would be wisdom on your part to possess a micron pen to put the beak in. I'm just giving you a little heads up there. That's just a note. I'm not going to tell you have to have one. I'm telling you it would be wise if you did. Okay, so the micron pen you can get for a couple bucks. The masking fluid, I don't know. I bought mine a couple of years ago, so I don't know. Maybe it was like $12. I don't know. So I don't want to tell you have to go out and spend $12. I'm telling you, you're going to wish you had gone out and spent the $12. Just saying. Okay, so are there any questions before we say goodnight? Anybody? I know it takes a minute to type. And sometimes comments come in after I'm already off. But you can always ask me. I did not put my email address in the description box because I barely had time to get here. Things were not working right. This whole day has not worked right. I'm telling you, it was craziness. And so I even told Sharon that I was going to resign from humanity just for the evening. I wasn't going to be resigned from humanity forever. But then I didn't get to resign. So I'm still here among humanity. So I think it may just be, I'll wait till tomorrow. No, I can't be I got to be with humans tomorrow. I can't do that. Ah, well, I may just not resign at all. I may just keep going. Ah, well, so much for that. Well, I'm going to say make today a happy day. Only you can. Your choices matter. You guys. Okay, good. Good. On the crafting bee. Okay, all right. Not on paintbrush brown, so that everybody else who comes to see it could see it. Because, I mean, we all want to see it. But we'll take whatever you want to show us. We'll do it. For all those of you who are not on the crafting bee, be sure. Thank you very much. Be sure and put yours on paintbrush brown. Yay. Paintbrush brown. Sarah and I made this page, but she nor I can remember what it's called, so I can't even send you there. It was something about Marilyn showed me how, and so I did it. Or I don't know. I can't remember what it was, but I mean, it was brilliant, whatever it was, but it's too brilliant for us to remember what it was. So sorry, just put it on paintbrush brown. It'll be there. We all need to see it. We need to see. Don't forget to sign your work. And remember, when you're signing your work, this right here is what's going to be seen. So sign it up in here. I'm going to sign with a micron pen right here. I'm going to go M. Brown. There's the signature. It's up in the painting. The people who buy it will want you to have signed it. The framer will thank you for not putting it down here where he has to come down here to catch it, because then he just had to cut off the focal point of the painting, which is the birdhouse. Keep that in mind when you are working, that where you're signing it matters. Okay, good deal. All right. Be happy, people. Be happy. And you guys, I thought of something today. I wrote it down because it was one of my more profound thoughts. Live up to who God knows you are. Now think about that. Live up to who God knows you are. Am I doing that every day? Yeah, I'm really not. I mean, I have some really off days, and I need to do better. I need to be better. I need to present my heart better. And I left out a leaf right there. I left him out like he wasn't even loved or anything. Right there. He was just left out like he was unloved. Poor little thing. Poor little fella. Bless his little heart. Okay, and just gonna just like that, right there, like that, and come back with my mix again and just make sure I've got a nice clean line right there. All right, I think I did them all. I'm going to say I did. All right, so you guys, make today a happy day. Sign your piece and date it. You know, I never really did date mine. My learning pieces, I learned to do that. But the pieces that I paint now, I don't date them. Because if it's a long time ago, then great. But if it's not, if it's something I painted 2 years ago, they'll think, wow, she's had that for 2 years and she's not sold it yet. Why do I want it? I don't do it. If somebody asks me to do it, I will, but mostly I don't. And most of my pieces are one of a kind. Even if I paint this same picture, which I have painted more than once, and I will paint more than once. Let me find them here. I got them. Well, there's one up. The birdhouse isn't done, but the background is done. Totally different background than yours. Totally different. Don't ask me why. I have no idea. And here's the birdhouse. This is the one I started with. And I'm going to tell you, there are a lot of things about this one I don't like at all. But, it's okay. I like this one better. You do things different. And every single one will be different. So even if you paint the same picture more than once, it will never come out looking just like. So if somebody says, can you paint me one like this, only make the birdhouse blue? Say, no, I can't paint you one like this one. I can paint you one, but not like this one. Just telling you. People are funny. They are funny. Okay, some of them are weird, but they're funny. All right, so I'm getting off here. All right, you guys, good night. Be happy. Love you. Bye-bye.